Stop scrolling right now and look closely at your screen, family. What you're about to see will open your eyes about what's happening inside our police. Fadiel Adams opened dockets against big generals, but now, at Madlanga, they're saying the dockets were too vague to charge anyone. The Inspectorate should have checked deeper. This thing is exposing serious failures. If you're tired of this nonsense in SAPS, flood the comments with "Vote the ANC out." Like, subscribe to Patriotic Muzanzi News, and share before they hide it. Roll the first clip. Listen carefully, my people. Padayachee is talking about the legal opinion on Adams' complaints. Watch this.
Exhibit number. So it's CJC 383. So I'm saying, as I work through my timeline based on the documentation I had, if there is a specific date that I miss somehow and it's contained in your affidavit, please feel free to refer me there and I shall include it in the timeline.
Your anchor affidavit, as you call it.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. So now, you recall we referenced, I think, paragraph 1 of Mr. Adams's Section 27 affidavit to know that he said he opened the dockets in Cape Town in October.
That's correct.
Now, as you saw in this annexure MK15, there are cover pages of those dockets, and I would like to refer to the first. The first is at page 303 in that same pack, MK15. And that it's got a case number. What's important for my purposes there is the date on which it's opened. And that should read, it reads on my copy 20/24/10/29 at 1430, I think. You confirm that?
I confirm.
So that's my first date. I've confirmed that the first docket in Cape Town was, or at least that one of the dockets in Cape Town was opened on the 29th of October at 2:30. I then have the next one, which would be at page 305. And that too bears the date of 29th October 2024 and inserted a timestamp of 1430.
I confirm.
The third then would be at page 308. And that once again is 2024 October 29 at 1430.
I confirm.
So now we know our Cape Town dockets were opened on the 29th. I then try to understand the next date. The next date would be when Mr. Adams, as he indicates in his affidavit, came to Gauteng to open what now we call the Orlando dockets. Unfortunately, I don't have those dockets. I can't put a definitive date on which that happened. Do you, by any chance, have those dates in your docket? Do you recall having them at all? Do you recall having the docket covers of the Orlando cases so that we can determine the date?
Yes, if Council can bear with me, I can just check quickly.
Okay, if it's not too far, because otherwise we could park it and go to the next date. Because the next date I deal with takes into consideration the Orlando dockets. So we know it will be between the 30th of October and this next date I'm going to deal with. Then during lunch we will check for the actual dates.
No problem.
I'm trying to save time because we've lost quite a bit. Okay, then the next date I have, we're still with MK15. We start at page 281. These are a series of emails that run until page 284. These have nothing to do with you. If you've never had sight of them, it's accepted. I don't expect you to comment about them, but you remember we're just trying to establish the timeline of different events. Now, if we and we know with emails we start from the last and work our way backwards. That's how they come out when they are printed. So our first email starts at page 283. At the bottom of 283, it's an email from somebody. It's addressed to Minister Mkunu. It's dated 1st of November 2024 at 8:21 in the morning.
Correct, Chair.
And if you flip over to page 284, it is from Honorable Fadiel Adams. Now that email reads thus. I have opened to Minister of Police. I have opened cases in the Western Cape on a number of senior SAPS personnel as per following case dockets as per Grand Central. Then he provides them. Second point, I was told that the dockets were intercepted. In my quest for justice, I traveled to Gauteng and opened following dockets as per Orlando SAPS. Then he provides a detail. The detail provided there, we can tell from the cast numbers that they too in Orlando were opened in October. You confirm that?
I confirm.
Then he continues, however, I've also been notified that the Gauteng Police Department has followed the same modus operandi as the Western Cape PC and is interfering in the investigative process. I apologize. I urgently and humbly ask the Minister to intervene and ensure the integrity of the investigative process is maintained to ensure a fair and just outcome. So that's our next date. First is the 29th of October, when they are opened in Cape Town. The next is that date yet to be determined in October, when they are opened in Orlando. And the 1st of November is a complaint to the Minister regarding interference or interception of both sets of dockets. Now, if you stay on page 283, the email above is now an email from Nkabinde CM. When General Mkwanazi testified, he advised that Nkabinde CM is the Chief of Staff in the Minister's Office. And you see that is dated 1 November 2024, 0904. And that is addressed to Major General Sibula and Brigadier Litoko. Subject line is charges laid by NCC. And Mr. Nkabinde writes as follows. I read the body of the email, second paragraph. The ministry has received this complaint from the Member of Parliament. In order for the ministry to respond accordingly, please furnish this office with a report in responding to this complaint and the details of the investigating officer who was assigned to investigate these cases. Your report is expected on Monday, 4th November 2024 at 1500 hours. So the Office of the Minister immediately acts upon this and directs the complaint to be dealt with, and directs that complaint to Major General Sibula and Litoko. We need not concern ourselves about who they are, but that's what the email tells us. Then if we go back to page 282, at the bottom is now an email from somebody within SAPS. It's dated still the 1st of November 2024 at 11:45. And it is addressed to complaints nodal point, copying the Divisional Commissioner Inspectorate and a few others. And in this particular communication overleaf, before we go over any further, bottom of 282, this person informs, kindly see the email below for your urgent attention, and important, feedback must reach the Office of the National Commissioner on Monday, 1200, and report to the Office of the Minister by Monday, the 4th November 2024 at 1500. Then still staying at page 282, at the top, it's now 11:59, about 12. This is from the National Inspectorate to a few other people, and it reads, please find email from Lieutenant Colonel Sitati for urgent attention as directed by the National Commissioner. After receiving the email, it was followed by a call to humbly request for feedback to be submitted on or before 1200 on Monday, 4th of November 2024. You see that? Then lastly, at page 281, it's an email from one of the recipients of the previous email I just dealt with, addressed to other members of SAPS, and it would appear in particular to Colonel Van Rooyen, and reads, please ensure that this is urgently registered into N16 of 2017 VS2. Don't have to worry ourselves about that. Further down it reads, please take note and deal with this immediately. Engage the province directly, please. Also note the deadline set for Monday, 4th of November. So our next date is this flurry of activity on the 1st of November, triggered by Honorable Adams's complaint to the minister at 8 in the morning. So by 1 o'clock, I will then, it then records that it is being acted upon, and eventually by the, I don't know if it's appropriate to call them the complaints nodal, but the point where it was referred to as a complaint and with an urgent request to deal with, to enable the original person to whom the complaint was addressed from the minister's office to respond to the minister by the 4th of November.
Please a detail.
Yes.
Just in case it becomes relevant, is also to note that the 1st of November, according to these messages, was a Friday.
Yes, I confirm it was a Friday.
And this activity was supposed to be reported on the Monday.
On Monday. And in fact, that is confirmed in the email at page 282 from Lieutenant Colonel Bapela, who specifically requests that the report be provided by 1200 on Monday, 4th of November. So that should take care of that. Thank you so much. So the next day then, I have nothing between the 1st of November being a weekend and the 4th. My next date would be the 4th of November. We've established that's a due date for the report. Then the 4th of...
You heard that? Dockets too vague, sparse on details, tampered affidavits. They say Inspectorate dropped the ball. Now, watch the timeline. When Adams opened the dockets and complained to the minister.
Yes.
Maybe paragraph 6.
Oh, let's go back to page 295. Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. Page 295, same document, paragraph 6. The Commissioner highlights that that's a key issue. The 3 dockets that were opened in Gauteng are merely a duplication of the 3 dockets that were opened in Cape Town. No explanation is provided regarding the opening of the second set of dockets on the same allegations but in another province. So, describing the nature of the dockets. We know
just confirm that they were a duplication. They were basically the same thing. But
that's correct. It's the Cape Town dockets and the dockets that were Orlando or Valeria basically were the same.
Perhaps I shouldn't run ahead. It's not. I ran ahead of myself because the contents of this particular document are important. Can I ask us to backtrack to 5, where the following point is made, paragraph 5. In his report, Colonel Phillips states that the complainant's statements were superficial, based on hearsay, and that they did not contain all the elements of the alleged offences. It further details his communication with the complainant and the attempts that he made to obtain evidence in order to support the allegations which the complainant alleged to be in possession of. These attempts proved unsuccessful. We have dealt with 6, and 7 states the correct charges must be identified based on the content of the dockets in order to determine whether or not all the elements of a particular offense are contained in the docket. It continued at 8. The dockets are sparse on details and based solely on unsubstantiated hearsay evidence, which make it difficult to determine the merits of the allegations and to identify the correct charges. Then I will jump to 13, which is the concluding paragraph. The current information contained in the documents is scanty and too vague to formulate charges against any suspects. As a result, legal services is unable to confirm that the required elements of any offense are contained in the dockets. This is where they landed on the 11th of December. Would you agree with that conclusion on your recollection and assessment of the contents of the dockets?
On the contents of the document, what is there?
The dockets, sorry.
Apologies, Chair. Yes, in the docket, as they say.
Yes.
And the report. But on the basis of this report, if the Inspectorate, for me, they didn't do their work, because they should have investigated further. They are the Inspectorate. The Inspectorate does inspections. There's an allegation that is made. These dockets are scanned, but in some of them, they have allegations. For example, in the one that, Chair, just let me go back to it.
Yes. We can start at 3.1. That's where an analysis of the respective dockets takes place.
I'll just take you to a generalized one.
Yes.
And that is the docket that was locked up in a safe or whatever, which the Inspectorate had, and the Valeria CAS 404. Because it was particularly linked to that docket because it makes an allegation about a cover-up of a case. If they took that docket and they looked at the docket on the Valeria CAS 38 as inspected it, they looked in it and they would have found discrepancies in it, which would eventually confirm that there was a problem in that docket because affidavits were tampered with in that docket. So let's come back to the other dockets. You have a docket, it is scanned, it has got any information.
Before you go on to other dockets, I think you should speak in much better detail than than what you've done now. What was CAS 04 and what was in the docket and what were the discrepancies that you say the Inspectorate should have picked up?
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm just going to go into I'm looking at page 292.
292, that's, is it Colonel Phillips's affidavit?
Colonel Phillips's report.
Yes.
When you look at Colonel Phillips's report, I'm just going to look. July 2024, it's an allegation. Major General Madondo failed a polygraph examination as the officer was cited for 2 incidents of tax evasion. Brigadier Nube of the Division Crime Intelligence was tasked not to...
Where are you reading?
No, he's reading from page 292, same MK15, page 292. Then at the top it's Faiz Phillips stays under oath. That's a affidavit of Colonel Phillips.
Yes, I have the affidavit, and you are reading under CAS 403. I had stopped you because you were talking about CAS 404. and I said to you, tell us more about this CAS 404 that you say the Inspectorate, had they looked at that docket, they would have seen that there were discrepancies in that docket, that there was tampering with affidavits. You said CAS 404. So I expect that when we look at 292, you will refer to CAS 404.
Family, see the dates? 29 October, 1 November. Urgent emails flying. Now, the Inspectorate report recommends 10-day extension to investigate the generals properly. This is getting hot.
An extra MK 15, we go to page 285. And it starts at 285, this particular document, but if we jump to 287, we'll see that it is a report by Major General, Acting Divisional Commissioner, Inspectorate, N.M. Dada, dated 4th of November 2024. It's a 3-page document, and then if we go back then to page 285, where it starts, it's an information note directed to the Minister. It provides a purpose, the background, the background is as we have discussed. We know the opening of the 2 sets of dockets. Then there is a discussion, and then it deals with the nature of the complaints in the dockets. Now, if we stay at page 286, it states that at 3.1.1, the criminal allegations in the 6 cases which were opened are leveled against Generals Khumalo, Lushaba, Madondo, and Brigadier Ncube, and are centered on 4 specific matters, namely abuse of Secret Service account 1, 2, cover-up of criminal incident linked to Valeria CAS number, it's provided, and there's a note that the docket is locked in a safe at the police station and access thereto will only be available from 11 November 24. Third, failure to address Major General Madondo's results of the polygraph examination, wherein 2 incidents of tax evasion were uncovered. And lastly, practices of nepotism. So that's his summary, the author's summary of the contents of those dockets. The most important is at 287 for purposes of our timeline. And at the top, under 4, recommendation, and at 4.1, it reads, this office recommends that an extension of 10 working days is provided in order for the following to be conducted, whereafter a comprehensive report can be provided. 1, interview the complainant and obtain a detailed affidavit. 2, perusal of all criminal dockets, including Valeria CAS number provided. 3, determine if any other government department is investigating the same allegations. So this is submitted on the 4th of November to the Minister. If you turn, then it's submitted by Major General Dada, and still at 287, you'll see that it's counted.
It's like, just for accuracy, it's the 5th, not the 4th. It's submitted on the 5th of November. You see that because General Sibia signs it on the 5th on 287, bottom of that page.
Yes, Commissioner, I was saying it's signed on the 4th.
Yes.
So Major General Dada on the 4th,
yes,
dates it.
You see? They want more time to check abuse of Secret Service account, cover-ups, nepotism, and all that. Last clip, what the minister signed off and referral to IDAC.
Then the second signature I was going to go to is the signature at the bottom of the same page. And I say it seems to have gone to General Sibia, who signs it on the 5th of November 2025 with no comments. And then the third signature is once again overleaf at page 288. And that appears to be the signature of the Minister of Police, E.S. Mkunu, MP, and it's dated 8 November 2024.
Advocacy law, my point was that the Minister's office appears to get this report on the 5th. And we see that from the date stamp, page 285.
I'm with you. Thank you, Commissioner.
So they missed that 4 November deadline by a day.
Indeed.
And then on the 5th, The stamp suggests
On
that
the
that's
first
when
page.
the minister's office received it.
I misunderstood you. I thought it was the date on which Major General Dladla signed, so I was reading the post. I completely agree with you. It would appear then that after General Sibia had signed, it then presumably got to the minister's office where it bears the receipt stamp of 5th November 2024. And then the minister's final stamp, final signature at page 288 on the 8th of November 2024. Now, where the minister signs, there is a space for comments, but he doesn't seem to have made any comments. Now, whether or not the minister granted the request of an extension, I don't know. I can't tell from this batch of documents. So I then look for my next date. And my next date would be the 11th of November. But that one now I find in a different document, and is the second annexure that you were supposed to have been given, together with MK15, but unfortunately we're not. It's MK16 in General Mkwanazi's annexure bundles. And that MK16 is a 2-page document, mercifully. And it's the other document you had opportunity to consider. Now, this document it's page 310 of MK15. This document is, if we go to the second page of that, second page of that, it's signed Mtokozi Singh Kabinde, Chief of Staff, Ministry of Police, and it's dated 11 November 2024. Now, when we go to the first page of this particular document, it's addressed to the investigating director, Brooklyn. And the subject line is referral and request for investigation in terms of Section 27 of the National Prosecuting Authority Act, Act 32 of 1998, read with the National Prosecuting Amendment Act, Act 10 of 2024. And Mr. Nkabinde, Chief of Staff, the Ministry of Police, states to the investigating director, and that's Advocate Johnson, correct?
That's correct.
Yes. States, attached here to please find for ease of reference a copy of written correspondence addressed to the Honorable Minister of Police, Honorable Senzo Mtunu, by Member of Parliament, Honorable Fadiel Adams. The allegations contained therein implicate very senior members of the South African Police Service and are viewed in a serious light, and case dockets were registered as follows. Then he provides one Langlakte case and 3 of those Orlando cases that Mr. Adams registered between the 29th of October and the 1st of November. And overleaf, most importantly, it concludes, Honorable Fadiel Adams was advised by this office to await your decision in this regard. So this document purports to refer Mr. Adams's complaint to IDAC, specifically to the ID. You note that. I say you note that.
I note.
Okay, thank you.
Council.
My next date,
I may have missed it. This letter from Mr. Nkabinde refers to a Langlakte case number. Did we deal with it when you were doing the dates? Is it one of the cases?
There are 3 Cape Town cases, there are 3 Orlando cases, and there is a Langlakte case that we don't deal with because the complaints that culminated in the charge against General Khumalo and others seem to involve the Cape Town and Orlando cases. There is also a 2022 Valeria case.
My people, you saw it. From vague dockets to recommendations for extension and referral to IDAC, Madlanga Commission is digging into these SAPS complaints against senior members, and the system failed to act fast. This affects all of us. Justice delayed is justice denied. Flood the comments again with Vote the ANC Out. Like this video hard, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share to your family groups. What do you think? Is there a cover-up here? Drop comments below. Patriotic Mzansi News bringing you the real stuff. Stay strong, Mzansi.